The Doors, Strange Days, right now on States and Kingdoms. Welcome back to States and Kingdoms. Today we're talking about The Doors and their album Strange Days. Now this is the first Doors album that we have talked about here on the channel. We love The Doors.
Yes.
You know, it's taken us a long time to do one of their albums. I'm not sure why. I think we were trying to save them. We're thinking, oh, let's do like a series, like, you know, do one in a row ish.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's been going on too long, and it's time. So here we go.
Strange Days.
Strange Days.
I don't really have a favorite Doors
album.
record, but I do think, objectively, yes, I do actually. I really,
That was fast.
I kind of do. I've listened to Waiting for the Sun, I think, more than any of the others.
Yeah, I
So
really
it's not- I
love the
wouldn't
Soft Parade.
I wouldn't say it's objectively better. I don't know, something about that album. I put it on
it's
a
great.
lot.
Yeah.
It is great. I feel like this may be their best record. You know, this is, I'll put it another way anyway. Let me put it another way.
Okay.
Feel record best, Doors this,
Good.
May. Okay.
If Hunt in
Yep.
King. Okay.
Now, this is what I think to most people the Doors sound like and should sound like. This is a fully realized sound. The dynamic in the band was totally there. You have, you know, great playing from Robbie Krieger. You know, a really wonderful guitar player. I always thought his guitar playing was awesome on these albums. And, you know,
More varied organ sounds and
Yes.
piano sounds.
which I really like more. Yes, he's, you know, more so than on the first record.
Yeah.
You know, you have a little bit more variation. There's a lot of really cool textures. You know, I mean, there's a lot. The playing between Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger
Yes.
is really interesting, and you know, it just really kind of comes at you. It's moody.
It's super moody.
It's a little odd. It has it's got a sound, and it really, you hear that reverberating through so many other people. You know, Jim Morrison's singing like very kind of like husky and throaty. He's got like still got like a Gene Vincent thing going on, and it's but you know, he's kind of a crooner working in the rock milieu, which I like. You know, and it's got a real atmosphere to it, and you know, I just think it holds that from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, it's really effective. Whatever they were doing on the first album, this is all just more pronounced and a little bit more kind of realized.
Strange Days, you know, it opens with, you know, such an iconic, you know, keyboard part. There's everything is urgent, you know. Everything is it's like life or death on this album.
There's a lot of yelling.
There's a lot of yelling. It's very upsetting.
It's a little scary.
I have to hide under my bed when I listen to this.
Stop yelling at me.
I Love Your Lost Soul Girl. I think that's also a it's a really pretty song. It's, you know, lyrically it's relatively simple and direct.
Lovely melody in the guitar solo.
I think this album, I mean, I listened to it and I just think Robbie Krieger, everything he does is
such a nice touch. I mean, the way he plays is just smooth in the most wonderful way. Not like a smooth jazz way, but just like perfectly, effortlessly smooth and just perfect for the song, and really continues to set the tone in every song. You know, just like that mood and that emotion. And I think Jim's vocal on this song is absolutely
Jim,
beautiful.
is it?
I call him Jim. You can call him James. No, his vocal is just perfect. It's soft and controlled. His voice is just so good. And I know a million people talk about Jim Morrison and how he sings, but at the same time, I feel like he's overlooked in a way. And I don't know why.
I think the people have some ambivalent feelings about the Doors. I guess it's natural. They've been kind of pushed forward. They were extremely successful. I mean, Jim Morrison is such an attractive figure still.
Very
they had
attractive.
a real influence.
I used to think that the Doors were the one classic rock band that most people would like point to and say, "Oh yeah, I love the Doors."
Well, they did really, but then that stopped.
Because there's the movie, The Oliver Stone
which
movie.
is a great movie.
There's the Oliver Stone movie. There were all the, black light posters I remember being so popular of the Doors. And, people love to point to the Doors and Jim Morrison and always pointing. Also, Ray Manzarek was all over TV.
He was.
In the 90s. Like, he was on VH1 talking about everything. And
which one was Henry Rollins or Ray Manzarek? Which one was in the Doors?
They were both. I feel like the Doors Behind the Music was one of the first ones they did. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching that a lot. I don't know, they were around a lot, and they were still played on the radio a lot. Yeah, they almost felt like that's too easy. They're the easiest band to reach for when you don't know a lot about music.
I think to some extent, if you do actually listen to them and you listen to something like Soft Parade, you're expecting, I don't know why, I feel like you're expecting like Black Sabbath or something. You know what I mean? Like, they make it, especially the movie. It's like, oh, it's so crazy, and he's like drinking blood, and it's like, and it's like Great Balls of Fire, Dennis Quaid level acting, and
right.
It's just, he's exposing himself, and you don't want him exposing himself.
Right.
And, all that kind of stuff. And then you listen to it, and it's Love Street.
Come on. Oh, I was going to say, touch me, baby.
I thought you were going to do, that was Rosemary Clooney. Come on, my house.
I did a lot of this in these videos today.
I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I think
that's personal.
You can miss what's actually there. I think there's an image. They projected this image of Jim Morrison and what the Doors were, and it's not necessarily what's actually in the music.
Right. Yeah.
When you listen to this, they have elements of, it's rock and roll. There's some jazz. There's some classical. You have, a band that is almost has like 1 foot in California of the early 60s and 1 foot in something completely different.
And then of course the lyrics are this other crazy layer.
And Jim Morrison is like, he's a bluesy singer, but he's also like Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra mixed with Gene Vincent and Elvis.
Yeah.
Mixed with like a beatnik.
It's a beautiful dynamic voice, because he does. I mean, everyone knows this, but he'll do this spoken word type thing, and it just like morphs into these like howls, and he can growl, and then it's this soft, beautiful, supple voice. It's really amazing when you really think about it.
And I do think that is an evidence on this album best, sort of like in the most balanced way.
Yeah.
Love Me Two Times is really the only like bluesy song, and really on this album.
Yeah.
Which is unusual. That definitely, they got bluesier and bluesier.
Yeah, like a Morrison Hotel, LA Woman type of thing.
I always love the song. It's always fun to listen to. Incredible vocal.
Nice. It is bluesy, but also gets a little more upbeat during the choruses, and it's really.
Horse Latitudes, I have no problem with. Actually, I like it.
It's really, really interesting.
Going into Moonlight Drive, which I love, the slide on this,
and that's a perfect transition. I love that. Going from that intense,
and
sort
it's
of spacey.
And it's a very personal thing to Jim Morrison. Like goes without saying, Ray Manzarek. I'm not a huge fan of like the Vox Continental organ sound, which sometimes can
overdo it.
Yeah, on the first album, I'm not always. I can get over it,
sure,
but it's not my favorite sound. So but he was amazing. He was an amazing musician, and I do like you don't get that as much on this album.
Yeah, it's
so
a
like
little
even
more
like
diversified.
Moonlight Drive has a really, kind of hushed, very soft kind of sound.
It's very soft. It feels
really nice.
Quiet, nighttime. Really, really pretty song.
My Eyes Have Seen You and I Can't See Your Face in My Mind are both really, really great songs. I think that's what keeps this
vision
from being, it doesn't dip.
No, not at all.
So after People Are Strange, which is a great song.
Yeah.
Very, very Andy Williams. You go into those two songs, which are very, one very up tempo and kind of aggressive, you know, and then the second one, like a real lament and very, I don't want to say moving, but just very affecting. So those two songs are really, really great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're not as, you hear them on the radio. If you hear the Doors on the radio anymore, I guess some places you do.
I think they still play "Light My Fire."
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, those two songs, carry you into When the Music's Over, and I've seen people say they don't like this song as much as the end. They're quite different.
They are. I don't know. Everything about this album just feels so advanced to me.
I love the beginning of When the Music's Over. I love, again, Robbie Krieger. I just think his guitar playing it's just so much fun to listen to.
It's wonderful.
And,
it truly is.
It's perfectly played to the song. As always, his what would you say? His taste, his sensibilities were always right on.
It's never overdone. It's never showy. It's never too big for
it's very clean and very kind of classical flamenco, and then it's very distorted, like it is at the beginning of this, and in the middle, the overlapping guitar stuff.
The cool part that people wouldn't take and do stuff with for a number of years.
It's just awesome. And
there's stuff on this song that they don't get credit for. I said that really weird. There's stuff on this song that they don't get credit for. I mean, it's just so cool, so different for when this came out, and just really forward.
I just love listening to it. The interplay between Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger is genuinely a joy to listen to, because it comes through as like one instrument.
It does.
And or at least two instruments very much entwined, and just lays that like fabric for Jim Morrison singing so perfectly.
Talking about the two interwoven like instruments, it's kind of like in Genesis, where sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah, Steve Hackett and Tony Banks.
They really that they're so interwoven. The sounds are so close. So I love that. And totally.
And of course, John Denson was drumming solid, great.
Perfect.
I mean, it is. Everything just to the point. Everything's perfectly to the point. I love this album. It's a great album. We'll do more Doors stuff.
Yeah, it's also hard when we haven't done any videos of a band. We have a lot to say about the band in general. So I think as we do work through more of the albums, we'll kind of flesh out things about the Doors that we think and stuff. It's hard to get it all out in one video. So please make sure to let us know what you think in the comments of Strange Days by the Doors. And also, please like this video. Consider subscribing to States and Kingdoms. We have new videos coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So stick around, and thanks so much for watching.